Look, here's the thing about early retirement. It sounds magical. Emily is 32. She lives in Austin, Texas. She makes $65,000 a year. Like many, she dreams of freedom, escaping the 9-to-5 grind. She hears about FIRE, financial independence, retire early. The promise? Save aggressively, invest wisely, retire in your 40s instead of 65. Live life on your own terms. Emily crunches the numbers. She imagines saving 70% of her income. She would invest in index funds. With disciplined planning, she could retire at 44. She tells her partner Jake about her plan. He listens, skeptical but intrigued. They picture a life without work, without bosses, without stress about bills. Freedom seems within reach. At first, it's exciting. Every cut feels like a victory. Selling a car? Great. Moving to a smaller apartment? Smart. Meal prepping instead of dining out? Efficient. Every dollar saved pushes them closer to their dream. Emily joins online FIRE communities. She reads blogs. She watches videos. People make it look easy. They live on 30% of their income. They invest the rest. They retire young and happy. Her mind races with possibilities. Weekends free for hobbies. Travel. Personal projects. Early mornings without alarms. It all seems achievable if she just sacrifices a little. But here's the subtle hook. What looks like freedom is actually a grind. The math works on paper, but lifestyle matters. Emily and Jake don't yet see what living on 30% truly means. They think discipline alone will bring happiness. Yet, viewers relate instantly. Most people dream about early retirement. They want to know if it's possible. They wonder, what would they give up? What would life look like if they chased FIRE? This is where the story begins. The dream is seductive. It pulls you in. But, as we'll see, reality often has a higher cost than expected. Now here's where the dream meets reality. Emily and Jake start cutting costs. Their first move, downsizing their apartment. A 2-bedroom becomes a studio. Rent drops by $900 a month. Every dollar counts. They sell Jake's car. One less monthly payment. Fewer expenses. Emily plans meals on Sundays. No dining out. No takeout. Even coffee at cafes becomes a treat they can't afford. Subscriptions? Cancelled. Streaming, magazines, apps, they all go. Every extra cost is scrutinized. They ask themselves, could this be avoided? Could this be cheaper? Could it be eliminated? At first, it feels empowering. Their savings account grows faster than expected. Emily sees numbers climbing. The excitement of progress is addictive. But tension creeps in. Jake wants to stick strictly to the plan. Emily misses friends' birthdays, weddings, and weekend trips. Every no strains their relationship. Here's the math, in plain English for TTS. To retire at 44, Emily and Jake need to save 70% of their $148,000 combined income. That's $103,600 per year. That leaves $44,400 for everything else. That's $3,700 a month. For a family of 2, $3,700 is tight. It's below the poverty line in most metro areas. Yet they are earning 6 figures. They are choosing poverty. Every purchase becomes a negotiation. Emily wants to buy a pair of shoes. Jake says no, they can invest that money instead. She feels guilty. Even small joys carry emotional weight. This is the reality middle-class earners face when following extreme FIRE. The math may work on paper. The human side? That's harder. Happiness, social life, and mental health all take a hit. Emily starts to feel isolated. Friends stop calling after repeated declines. Vacations? Not happening. Birthdays? Missed. They are saving for freedom, but living without it. The early excitement fades. Every day is a constant audit. Every choice has a price. Every dollar sacrificed today delays the payoff tomorrow. Yet viewers understand this. Many dream of early retirement. They think, I can handle it. I just need discipline. But the emotional cost is invisible in spreadsheets. This is why FIRE can feel like a trap. You're working harder than ever for a life that may feel empty when you finally reach it. Now, the dream starts to show cracks. Emily and Jake are saving aggressively. Every choice is calculated. Every expense is questioned. At first, it felt empowering. Now, it feels confining. Friends stop inviting them to events. No becomes a constant answer. Concerts, weddings, weekend trips, everything requires money they can't spend. Social life fades. Emily notices the toll. Weekends feel empty. Hobbies are gone. Restaurants, once a pleasure, are now off limits. Even small treats carry guilt. The 4% rule, the backbone of FIRE, starts to feel abstract. On paper, it says they can withdraw 4% of their portfolio each year. That should cover living expenses indefinitely. But this rule assumes retirement at 65. Emily plans to retire at 44. She will need money for 46 years, not 30. That changes the math drastically. If they retire on $2 million, 4% is $80,000 a year. Sounds enough, but inflation, market downturns, and unexpected expenses can shrink that. Healthcare, for example, could consume a quarter of their budget before they spend on anything else. They begin to see the hidden costs. Inflation erodes purchasing power. Private health insurance for a healthy couple in their 40s costs roughly $1,200 a month. By the time they're 50, premiums could rise to $1,800 a month. That's a third of their planned withdrawal gone. Every dollar now feels like a potential threat to their future. Want to travel? Think again. Need new furniture? Not possible. Want to enjoy life today? Only at the expense of tomorrow. Mental strain grows. Emily feels lonely. Jake is frustrated. Every disagreement about money magnifies tension. Resentment builds. The lifestyle lock isn't just financial, it's emotional, social, and psychological. At this point, FIRE starts to feel less like freedom and more like a cage. They are disciplined, yes, but disciplined into deprivation. Middle-class viewers watching understand the trap. The math looks perfect, but living in isolation with constant sacrifice is costly in ways a spreadsheet can't measure. Emily begins to question, what am I retiring to? A life that feels the same as now, but without a job? This is where most middle-class FIRE followers struggle. The early excitement fades, replaced by a harsh reality. Life becomes a constant calculation. Happiness and relationships are collateral damage. Here's where FIRE shows its hidden traps. Emily and Jake are committed. They've been saving aggressively for years. But the numbers they see on paper are not reality. Real life has costs that spreadsheets don't show. First, healthcare. Retiring at 44 means they are not eligible for Medicare. Private insurance costs about $1,200 a month for a healthy couple. That's $14,400 a year. By their 50s, premiums could rise to $1,800 a month, over $21,000 a year. Now let's consider children. Even one child adds roughly $2,600 per month in childcare. That's $31,200 per year. Add housing, food, and education, and the math quickly breaks. The FIRE math only works if nothing unexpected happens. A market downturn early in retirement could reduce their portfolio by 30%. Withdrawing the same amount now would accelerate depletion. They could run out of money decades before expected. Inflation is another silent killer. $80,000 today does not buy the same in 20 years. Even 3% inflation reduces purchasing power by a third over 2 decades. They cannot increase spending without risking ruin. Emily begins to see the limits. Every luxury they skipped now feels like a future prison. Every sacrifice, social events, vacations, hobbies, doesn't buy freedom. It buys the same life, just without work. This is what middle-class FIRE followers rarely see. Blogs and podcasts celebrate extreme savings. They rarely show healthcare costs, inflation, or family responsibilities. For viewers, this is crucial. You might think early retirement is just about discipline. It's not. At middle-class income levels, FIRE requires a lifestyle so restricted that it borders on poverty. Emily realizes the math is dangerous. Saving 70% on a moderate income leaves too little for living. They are sacrificing today for an uncertain future. Jake argues it's temporary. Emily starts to doubt. The dream that was so appealing now feels like a tightrope. One wrong step, unexpected expense, health crisis, market drop, and it could all collapse. Middle-class viewers will relate. Extreme saving feels noble at first, but without flexibility, life becomes a series of compromises. Happiness, health, and social connections are at stake. FIRE is seductive, yes, But the hidden costs, healthcare, inflation, children, emergencies, can turn that dream into a trap. Here's where fire hits hardest. Years of sacrifice take a toll on Emily and Jake. Their relationship becomes tense. Every decision is debated. Every expense is a negotiation. Emily resents missing friends' weddings. Jake resents her questioning the plan. Resentment builds quietly. Small frustrations turn into bigger fights. Social life disappears. Friends stop inviting them to events. They are no longer part of conversations. Weekend trips, dinners, and celebrations all pass them by. Loneliness grows. The emotional cost is real. Happiness fades. Mental health suffers. The dream of early retirement feels hollow. Career risk adds another layer. If Emily retires at 44 and the market crashes, she may have to return to work later. A decade-long gap makes re-entry difficult. Skills stagnate. Networks fade. Employers rarely hire someone mid-career with a 10-year absence. Income potential drops. Even the fire math cannot protect them from real life. Market downturns, medical emergencies, or family responsibilities can ruin the plan. Middle-class viewers see the danger. Extreme saving strategies create stress, isolation, and uncertainty. The very plan meant to provide freedom now imposes limits and anxiety. The personal cost of fire is rarely discussed. Blogs celebrate success stories, but rarely mention divorces or broken relationships caused by relentless saving. Emily realizes she may have sacrificed the most important things: relationships, experiences, and peace of mind. Jake continues, determined to reach the number, but happiness is gone. This is the turning point. Fire may promise financial independence, but for many, it delivers emotional and social debt. For viewers, the lesson is clear. Extreme early retirement requires more than discipline. It demands emotional resilience, social sacrifice, and luck. Now, let's consider a different approach. Jake suggests a moderate plan. Save 20 to 25% of income. Invest consistently. Retire later, but with less stress. Emily is skeptical. Later? Isn't early retirement the goal? She asks. Jake explains. Retiring in your 50s can still feel early. You maintain health, energy, and social connections. You avoid extreme deprivation in your 30s and 40s. Here's how it works. Instead of 70%, they save $30,000 a year. Invest in index funds with steady 8% annual returns. Over 30 years, that grows to over $3 million. Now, consider withdrawals. At 4%, they could safely take $120,000 per year. Compare that to $80,000 under the extreme fire plan. That's more comfort, more flexibility, more freedom. Emily starts to see the benefits. She can take vacations, eat out occasionally, maintain hobbies, and keep friends. Life doesn't feel like punishment. She still builds wealth, just at a realistic pace. Compound interest does the heavy lifting. Time becomes their ally. Every year, their investments grow not just from contributions, but from the returns on previous growth. They are letting money work for them. The emotional payoff is significant. No more guilt over missing weddings. No more resentment over every dollar spent. Relationships thrive. Mental health improves. Life feels balanced. Middle-class viewers can relate. Extreme fire feels risky, lonely, and emotionally draining. Moderate savings with longer horizons delivers financial independence without sacrificing life. Emily reflects, I don't need to suffer for 12 years to have freedom. I can live well now and still retire comfortably. Jake agrees. They start recalculating their goals. Their target retirement age shifts from 44 to 58. The number still feels achievable. But now, happiness is part of the equation. This is the key insight. Early retirement is not a race. Extreme savings may reach the goal faster on paper, but it often costs too much emotionally and socially. A balanced approach allows for life today and security tomorrow. If you prefer a realistic, balanced plan, comment plan. Here's the reality. Fire can be powerful, but it's not one size fits all. First, calculate your actual cost of living at a reasonable standard. Include housing, food, healthcare, hobbies, and social activities. Don't underestimate the lifestyle you want to maintain. Next, determine a sustainable savings rate. For most middle-class earners, 20 to 25% is realistic. It lets you invest consistently without sacrificing your life. Set a retirement horizon that works for your goals. Retiring at 52 or 58 still gives decades of freedom. You avoid extreme deprivation and build wealth safely. Plan for hidden costs. Healthcare, inflation, and unexpected events can derail extreme FIRE plans. Factor them into your projections. Conservative assumptions make your plan resilient. Balance is key. Happiness, relationships, and experiences matter as much as dollars saved. Extreme FIRE sacrifices life today for uncertain freedom tomorrow. Moderate planning preserves both. Use compound interest to your advantage. Regular contributions and consistent investing over decades create wealth faster than short-term extremes. Time is your ally. Finally, give yourself permission to adjust. If you started FIRE and feel miserable, it's okay to scale back. The sunk cost fallacy is real. Continuing a plan that makes you unhappy wastes future years. Moderate planning, smart investing, and realistic expectations lead to financial independence without destroying your present. If this resonates, comment me. Let's wrap this up. The FIRE movement promises freedom and early retirement. It's seductive, it's exciting, but as we've seen, extreme FIRE is not for everyone. For middle-class earners, following FIRE blindly can lead to isolation, stress, and lifestyle sacrifice. Friends, hobbies, and relationships may disappear. Mental health can suffer. Life today is just as important as life tomorrow. Moderate saving strategies offer a better path. Save 20 to 25% of your income. Invest consistently. Retire later, but safely. You still achieve financial independence. You still enjoy life along the way. Plan for real costs. Include healthcare, inflation, family responsibilities, and unexpected expenses. Let realistic numbers guide your decisions. Extreme assumptions may leave you vulnerable. Remember, happiness matters. Wealth without joy is no freedom at all. Extreme FIRE can deliver a number, but not the life you imagined. A balanced approach protects both your future and your present. You don't have to sacrifice your 30s for a promise of freedom in your 40s. Compound interest works best with time, not extreme deprivation. You can build wealth steadily while living well today. The choice is yours. Extreme FIRE may work if you earn enough and accept the sacrifices. For most, a balanced plan is safer, happier, and sustainable. Take control of your money and your life. Think long-term. Think realistically. Live fully.